I hope you enjoy my stories. Instead of just clicking thumbs down, please comment and share how we can do better. If you do like our video, then please like and subscribe.
Casually surveying the room, he noticed Jon in one of his fancy suits.
Fred, Jon, and Ted had taken up a corner table and seemed to be whispering like conspirators.
Even when he got close to the table to take drink orders, he couldn't really make out what they were saying.
His arriving at the table seemed to cause silence. I really should have hired a waitress. If I had known it was going to be this busy, surely would have, he thought to himself.
So many new faces, I don't know if I can keep track. Two gentlemen in business suits had acquired a central table and were engaged in what appeared to be a heated debate. He couldn't quite make out what the dispute was about, but figured they would be needing drinks.
With that in mind, made his way through the crowd to the table.
Bang, Dwayne was saying. "Welcome the Clancys. What can I get you tonight?" Frank asked, interrupting the conversation. "For us, a couple of SBs straight up. No ice. Bill, do you want steaks?"
Bill simply just nodded.
"And a couple of steaks, rare with whatever comes with that,"
Dwayne said, waving his hand, dismissing Frank. Frank headed towards the kitchen, feeling slightly insulted.
He opened the door to see his cook. George hunched over his laptop, playing games as usual. Always a sucker for a sob story, he hired him because his sister had explained how desperate he was for a job. Always the same thing, somebody always needing something.
The biggest problem in George's life was George.
He was lazy and couldn't keep a job because of it.
George, 2 steaks, rare right away.
"You know if your sister's doing anything tonight?" Without looking up from his laptop, George said, "What, my sister, what?" "Pay attention, George. Did you get the steak order, and is your sister busy tonight?" "2 steaks, right, well done. And what do you want my sister for?" "No, 2 steaks, rare. And I wanted to see if your sister could work tonight. If she can, tell her I will pay her cash."
Cash seemed to be the magic word to George, and immediately got his attention. George pulled his cell phone out of his pocket and made a quick call. He mumbled a few things into the phone and hung up. "She says she'll be here in 10 minutes. Get the steaks right this time, George, and quit playing those games on my time," Frank said, leaving the kitchen and making his way back to behind the bar. He got 2 fresh glasses and poured the alcohol into them, and then placed them carefully on a small tray.
He made his way back across the crowded room and cautiously placed a drink on the table in front of them. "Your steaks will be ready shortly. Let me know if you need anything else," he said, interrupting their conversation once again.
Snatching up his drink, Bill continued, "The theory isn't perfect.
It is based on the best model available, and that's all.
It is just a theory.
You have to remember that.
You keep spouting it all off like it's a fact."
There is no fact, only theory, and then theories based on theories.
Feeling gratified by his rebuttal, Bill glued the glass to his lips and savored the taste.
That very well may be Bill, however, Hawkins presents an excellent case that it is indeed a fact.
Over 13 billion years ago, something happened. Most physicists say our universe was created by the Big Bang.
All the evidence that they have leans heavily in that direction.
Yes, there are other ideas, however nothing is complete. Now we consider that we know a single proton or particle can spontaneously pop into existence. That means that the Big Bang could have just popped into existence.
Bill leaned forward in his chair with a wide grin on his face and laughter in his eyes.
"Are you suggesting that the entire universe was created from a single particle?" Bill asked. "Yes, now quit smiling. That's exactly what I'm suggesting." Downing his drink, Dwayne banged it off the tabletop, feeling indignant. "And since when did you become a physicist? It seems to me that you work in a bank,"
Bill said with a small laugh.
Dwayne leaned over the small table, bringing his eyes up level with Bill's.
"Hey, that doesn't mean I don't know anything. I watch a lot of documentaries. There was the special documentary from Hawkins that went all over this subject. I'm more inclined to believe his theories than the lack of yours." Settling back in his chair to create more distance, Bill said, "Okay, Dwayne, I'm all ears. Tell me what you believe."
Dwayne didn't take the signal to back away, and instead tried to lean even farther across the table to emphasize his points.
"Well, it's kind of simple. Let's say that the entire universe popped into existence as a single particle. What that would mean is that a single particle can expand to become the universe.
And what is the weight of a single particle? Bill asked sarcastically. We already know that the universe has a large mass to it.
Seems to me that it has to be a lot heavier than a solitary particle.
Unable to intimidate Bill, he slowly moved into a more relaxed position and picked up his empty glass.
Yes, but the weight of the universe is by our calculations. What if our universe was a single particle that exploded?
The weight of that particular particle would still be there and now be distributed all across the new universe. Now, if we are in that universe, we would be determining the weight by our calculations and not by the original weight of particle as seen from outside of it.
Taking the opportunity at the end of Dwayne's words, Bill caught the attention of Frank and made motions for more drinks.
Settling back down, he looked evenly into Dwayne's eyes.
That would almost make sense, Dwayne, but you have absolutely nothing to back up that logic. You've taken one thing and turned it into another.
I don't think Hawkins or any other physicists have suggested that.
I could be wrong because I don't really follow all the ins and outs of that particular profession.
You have to make a more concise argument. More drinks appeared on the table, which coincided with the fresh-faced waitress delivering food. Both immediately ceased their conversation and began eating. Many drinks and a few hours later, their previous conversation was completely forgotten. Minor discussions of home life, work and other mundane topics had presented themselves. They both sat back in their chairs, totally relaxed. Jon casually approached their table. My newest friends, I couldn't help but overhear your previous conversation. I would like to inject some comments and perhaps some clarity to your arguments. The current estimated weight of the universe is 1.59486 times 1055 kgs, give or take a few kilos here and there. Not very likely to come from a single particle.
The event you so casually referred to as the Big Bang, your scientists know very little about.
To put it bluntly, they do not understand the actual cause. Yes, perhaps they know a few things about what happened afterwards, but not what originated it. Bill and Dwayne both looked up at him, annoyed and ready to complain. I do not wish to annoy you, but you do need a few extra facts.
You can take the information or leave it. I really don't care which. The strange calmness came over both Dwayne and Bill, as if they had been hypnotized and now looked forward to whatever Jon was saying. Now to continue, the Big Bang itself was caused by species X1137b9, the most arrogant bastards in any universe from what I have been told.
I will refer to them by that designation in contrast to their actual name, which you can never pronounce anyways. This universe was caused by an accident which consequently destroyed that species' universe. It did not magically jump into existence. It was a result of a very major catastrophic event.
Now you may not believe that there are other universes out there, but there are.
I'm a fine example of that.
Bill looked at him with total disbelief. And what, pray tell, is your proof?
He said, appearing to break free of the spell.
Well, I have myself as proof. This is what I want you to do. I want you to watch me most intently and see if you have ever seen anything like this in your life. Remember, don't take your eyes off me in for a split second. Whatever, remarked Dwayne, totally disinterested as he relaxed into the chair, bringing his drink to his lips.
Jon stood in easy sight of both of them. He smiled and touched the cufflink on his left wrist and instantly vanished. What the? Exclaimed Bill.
Damn, how drunk are we? Remarked Dwayne in disbelief.
What do you think you're doing, troll? Jon?
The android asked.
Doing when?
Jon said smoothly and with a touch of mirth. You know damn well what I'm talking about.
What you doing is absolutely illegal and against the convention. You may get away with some things on your own planet, but not against the Federation of the Universes. Using technology to influence the people on this planet is not only illegal, but is morally wrong as well. Do I have to mention the fact that that level of advanced technology tends to show up if anybody's checking?
You told me you didn't want to get caught. But then why are you doing everything possible to allow that to happen?
Look, it's not as bad as it seems. Mostly isolated cases, that's all. Jon said, defending himself.
Isolated. You call that isolated.
You're influencing their culture and trying to get their government overthrown with your little band of misfits. Then using technology to influence people to show up at that bar you like to drink at. How is any of that isolated?
I'm working hard to make sure that you stay hidden on this planet, and you circumvent everything that I do.
The android stated angrily.
I was trying to help. Jon injected sheepishly. Help who? You only ever think of yourself? That's not true, and you know it.
Look, Frank isn't doing well, and his bar is suffering. His life hasn't been the same since his wife died.
I really do have good intentions.
I know you think I only think about myself, but that's not true at all.
You are a prime example of me not thinking about myself.
When they outlawed the technology that created you, you were supposed to be destroyed.
I rescued as many as I could, including you. Your history is known to you, and I kept nothing from you dealing with the circumstances of my acquiring you.
You have something the other androids on this ship don't have freedom to choose.
I gave you that freedom, or more correctly, allowed it to happen. Anytime you want, you can leave. I think that the real reason you stay is because you care about me as much as I care about you.
Jon stated soberly.
Yes, I care about you, but that's not relevant to what we're talking about. The android said softly, closing its eyes as if it had a headache.
You know why I never gave you a name? Jon asked.
Perhaps your particular form of laziness has something to do with that.
The android shot back.
No, a way better reason that. To me, you're not an object or a machine, you're alive.
You think and you feel.
That is why Hetyoid is so afraid of you and others like you. You don't just follow orders, you question things and are not likely just to agree.
Him and his government's position is that people should be as much like sheep as possible.
Do as they're told all the time and never question authority.
You question mine all the time and I'm fine with that. You are you and I don't have the right to name you. That is your right and that is something I'll never take away from you.
So what you tell me is you want me to name myself and then I can name myself anything that I want and you will not object to it. The android asked. That is correct.
Jon emphasized.
Well then, my name is Belinda.
What kind of stupid name is Belinda? The same kind of stupid name as Jon?
Belinda retorted, quite happy about the fact that she got in his dander up.
And by the way, Jon, why are you lying to those people? Have you been monitoring me? Jon asked, indignant.
Of course you're being monitored. As a necessary part of my job to protect you. When you irritate enough people, someone will react negatively. At that point, you will need me to rescue you. What did I told him that wasn't factual? Jon asked while chuckling to himself.
How about X1137B9? There is no species with that designation. They were not responsible for the evolution of this universe. You lied to them.
Lied is such a strong word.
I prefer partial fabrication and embellishment of the facts.
There is absolutely nothing you said to them that could be considered even vaguely a fact. Then what do? You disappear right in front of them.
How are you going to fix that? Belinda asked him with anger rising in her voice. I'll think of something.
Jon said smugly. The odds are, Jon, you only managed to make things worse, so I really hope that you can't think of anything.
Belinda said knowingly as she left Jon standing in the middle of the galley.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.